Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Laura Whitaker's Sketches Reimagined. Let's take a look at our sketch for this week. I love all these fun little squares. I'm gonna flip it around just a bit, but not too much. So I am going to be using my paper person kit. This is my November kit. And I'm really loving working with it right now, so I just kept working with it for lots of different videos coming up until I pretty much had it killed. There isn't much of it left. So there's my photo. It's a photo of my puppies. I'm going to go through what I have left of this kit and kind of decide which things I want to use. I know I want to use that cozy stamp, and then I'm going to use all of the strips of or all of the scraps of paper, because that way I can take those scraps of paper to create my squares with. So I took my scraps and I cut them into 1.5-inch strips, and now I am just taking those strips and cutting out 1.5-inch squares. Some of these patterns are double-sided, so I'll flip them over. So I have all the patterns that are in the kit. All the patterns ended up being on this layout. I'm going to do 3 squares of each of the patterns, and that worked out really, really well. That did exactly what I wanted it to do. Filled in my square that I wanted, and it's filled in the amount. I didn't end up with a lot of leftovers. That's what I'm trying to say. I didn't end up with a lot of leftovers. Once I had all of those squares cut, I'm going to take this pattern paper. This is one of the exclusive patterns that was on the back of one of the cut-apart sheets in the kit, and I love it. It's so pretty. The color is just gorgeous. In addition to just the pattern papers from the kit, I also cut down a couple of the cut-apart cards that just had a pattern on them to help even out and add a little bit more color to my page. I'm just making my photo a little bit with that lovely like teal color. And now I'm gonna get to creating with these squares. So I started these squares in the exact way that the sketch showed, but I do alter the orientation of my photo and different things like that as I go along. In an effort to try to keep things as straight as possible, I used my T-square ruler for the first kind of row of squares in my photo. And from then on, I'm just really going to eyeball it a bit. The reason I did it by eye the rest of the way around this photo is a very simple reason. Because no matter what I did, I was going to end up with something being crooked. It's the nature of the beast when you're working with paper. Inevitably, one of those squares moved ever so slightly and is crooked. One of these rows, I'm gonna ever so slightly bend one of these squares or something. It's gonna be crooked. No matter what I do, I can use every kind of math magic in the book, everything, all of it. It's still, something's gonna end up crooked. So instead of taking all of that time and trying to make it perfect only to have it be crooked anyway, I just decided that I would figure out a way to fix it if anything turned out really funky. The only thing that turned out funky in the end is the fact that I ended up with a larger border on the left side of my page than I had on my right side of the page, and I'm going to fix that. So it really did work okay, me doing it by eye. It also helped because I could kind of maybe adjust a little bit to things that were crooked. And kind of my train of thought was just to get those where they cross, those lines, even. And then the rest of it I could kind of be okay with. I did 6 1.5-inch squares across the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to fill in that area right there. Now, I end up with a gap, which I'm telling you it's going to happen. I decided that it would be okay. And I left the gap there, and I'm actually going to fill it in later on in the layout. And I think at the end, you can't even tell, and it looks really great. So this is going to complete that grid portion. And you can see here, the left side ended up being way wider than the right. I have a plan. I'm going to do it right now. So I'm going to take this stripy paper. I'm cutting a 2-inch wide square. So this is 2 by 12. I'm going to grab my tape runner, and I'm also going to move my photos. So as I was doing the grid, I decided that I didn't like my photo to the left. I wanted to kind of put it into the inside. So I am putting this strip of paper, and then I'm just tearing it. And it worked. Worked perfectly. Added a little bit of interest to that side of the page. Kind of fixed the fact that now it looks intentional, that my grid is kind of oriented off to the right, and that just worked really well. I thought about adding more, I've been tearing the paper this week, right? And I thought about tucking more patterns in behind there, but I decided in the end that it was okay just like that. Since I have all that beautiful pattern going on, the rest of this layout will come together really quickly. So my title is Cozy Canines. Don't ask. I knew I wanted to make it be cozy, and because that's what it is. It's a photo of 2 of our dogs, Fitz and Cooper, snuggled up together. And I don't get a lot of photos of Cooper, so when I can get a photo of Cooper, I take it. He is a bit blind and he's a bit ornery, so photography is not his jam. So I really wanted to use this little ticket, but it says November on it, and this photo was taken in June. So we're going to have to fix that, but I do fix it quite well. Now I also know that I want to add a bit of stamping to this layout, but I've used thickers for my title. So what I'm going to do is, once I know where the spacing is for my this little embellishment, this is the only embellishment I'm going to add to the layout, except I'm going to cover up the big N. And I have my title. Now I want to add some stamping to a couple of spots on this layout. So I'm going to start by covering that N up with this epoxy flare. I found this cute little puppy dog one that had the exact colors that worked with this kit, and I decided perfection. I'm going to put these thickers away. These are my Grove thickers that I have oodles and oodles and oodles of. I love those thickers. And I use that one for my title. And now I'm going to pull out this Cozy stamp set and my Daydream ink from Catherine Pooler. My head is going to be a little in the way here because I'm trying to get these stamped sentiments at just the right spot. So I put one of those stamps into that open gap that happened with my grid, and then you can't even tell it wasn't supposed to be there, right? Okay, so now what I really want to do is I want to get this ticket and these thickers kind of set up, and then decide where I'm going to stamp, because I'm going to stamp a couple of phrases from this collection in that Daydream ink. And this is the Cozy stamp set, which I love the Cozy stamp set. It's like the best stamp set ever. You'll definitely be seeing this one come and be used a ton in my craft space because it just has the nicest phrases in it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 3 of them. I did that little one across the bottom, and then I'm going to put those 2 kind of together and stamp them. It adds a little more color, and I really love how this layout turned out. It might be my favorite of December. It might be. It's really, really cute. And now I'm going to go ahead and kind of fix my title and see where else I may need something extra. I know I want to put something beside the Cozy. I feel like there's like this open gap going on there. So I popped into my Kelly Perky label stickers, and I'm just going to add that label there. And then after I turned the camera off, I looked the date of this photo up on my phone and stamped the date. And that's going to be it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this layout. We will have lots more of Laura's Sketches Reimagined in the next coming months, and I hope you enjoy this series as much as I do. Talk to you soon. Bye.